Hello and welcome again. Like I promised in my last video, I will now move to the world of buses in the Helsinki region. What you're looking at is the place called Rautatien Tori, or the Central Railway Station Plaza, which is basically a large open area in the heart of Helsinki, and this place houses the terminus of all buses, or almost all of the buses. There are exceptions, but almost all of the buses leaving east or northeast or north from the Helsinki city center. Now, we will start by creating the terminus, because the buses always leave their passengers. That's not a double track, by the way. Leave their passengers in here, in front of the National Theatre. And this is actually a part of the Rautatien Tori, or the stop is called Rautatien Tori, and that's it. Then there are numerous buses leaving the stops. And I think we should just start by creating the first stops in here. There are around 12 stops to avoid congestion. I will not be working that detailed here. I will just create one stop, and that's it. And this station is, of course, this station is, of course, once again part of the Rautatien Tori stop, which is a pretty important stop. Now, the buses then all, of course, leave through here, and then they connect to the road network in there. The buses are not a part of the original part of the game. The buses I am using are a mod. I'm glad that someone made the mod. But nevertheless, they can run on railway track. And today I'm going to create line 16, I think it was line 16, which connects the city center with an area called Kulosaari. It's a really nice villa area. And one of the reasons the line is created the way it is created is that it connects the city center with the Korkeasaari Zoo, which is the biggest, most popular, most famous, most legendary, I mean, you name it, zoo in Finland. I will create stops very closely here because there will be a lot of bus traffic. There will be absolutely massive amounts of bus traffic in here, and this place will become congested. And like I said, I haven't yet managed to what is your issue? To create a traffic jam, or to create collisions serious enough to stop traffic. And when I throw the buses in there, if that doesn't happen now, it will never happen. But the buses start from here, and they will not stop at this stop, but they will stop at Kaisaniemen Puisto, and line 16, which I'm going to create first, is going to turn right in here. I've already created the tracks so that I will not forget them. It will also stop at this stop, but then it will continue eastwards in here, and then I will have to start creating the stops. So let's see. This will be slow. This video will advance really slowly. I'm sorry for that, but it's been a long while. It's been almost 2 years since I last created these bus lines, and like I said, creating them from scratch requires some hard work. And I'm now about to start the work. The future bus line videos will be shorter, but the first one will obviously be quite a long one. So the next stop will be put here. This is actually scaringly black. But I will use this one now because the last time I created this I used invisible bus tracks, and that was a bit of an issue. Okay, so yeah, there is a connection there. Good. It was quite a bit of an issue because then when I had to make crossings, when I had to make intersections, when I had to make anything to it, I would just have to go blindfolded. So I am not going to do that again. I am going to go full black asphalt now. It really is black. Somebody really has paved the roads with fresh asphalt. Let the buses come in and destroy that. Let's put it that way. Great, I've spent 7 minutes and I haven't even gotten out of the city center. Then a sharp right turn, left turn, sorry about that. The funny thing is this black thing costs more than the tram tracks. The invisible roads were almost €0. So this is really an expensive way to create these routes, but I find it much more comfortable. So let's just imagine I'm currently building the roads. They don't exist. I will have to build roads from scratch in order to be able to build bus traffic. As I look on the map here at Hakaniemensilta, I also see that the map is outdated. They actually demolished the old Hakaniemensilta and built a new one. And the profile of the bridge is different. So this map uses the old version. I don't want to know how much Oh, sorry. How much building a viaduct of city road costs? Apparently quite a lot, but okay, cool. All right, what's the seems to be the problem in here? Okay. I don't know what the problem was, but it's clear now. But the fun fact is actually I think the cost of this road is pretty close to what building a road actually costs because in Finland, because tramways are too cheap. They're way too cheap. The tramway 13, which I created in my last video, cost around 300 millions, and I could do the rails with 2 million. So I guess we're compensating now. But I will create what's needed. Let's put it that way. And the stupid thing is, with these early lines, it's not even possible to create sort of a useful infrastructure. I mean, all the infrastructure I'm creating is actually just going to be used by a few lines. So these are going to be expensive tracks. These are going to be really, really, really expensive tracks. Later on, we might create new lines just for a few with just a few stops. That will be cheap infrastructures. But so far, I've spent 700,000 euros on this line, or whatever the currency here is. I will use euros because that's my currency. You can use whatever currency you like, but 700,000 is the thing. And I haven't gotten anywhere, frankly. Let's have a look, by the way. 62,500 a kilometer. Oh, well, it's half the price of the tram line. I accept this. Let's put it that way. I accept this. I will stop complaining. Then it's Suvilahti, Södervik. Okay, that's before the big crossing over there. So there is actually a bus line running through there, and this is also something new because the last time I did create something in this game, there was no road in there. That road was just built through an old power plant area. So once again, I'm moving perhaps in a slightly new direction, not really knowing where I'm heading. Also, I have never created. I have created this line once previously, but I have never driven it actually. And one day maybe I should drive all the bus lines in Helsinki. And see to myself what they look like. So at this point we've gotten so far. So we haven't really gotten far, but we've gotten somewhere. And now comes this nightmare of a ramp. It is a nightmare to drive by car because the lanes don't seem to make any sense. But what makes sense is that the next stop is called Kalasatama, and it is a part of the metro. station, and I hope this thing will understand it. And actually, it's elevated too. So there's a huge bridge in here. There we go. Then we'll have to continue it as a bridge above the tram line, and now it splits. It doesn't split into two just yet. It splits into two right over here. And the metro is luckily still underground, but I will have to create these lines separately. So the eastbound lane comes from here. Okay, I will just do it until the station. I don't care anymore. And the westbound lane goes from... yeah, I'm glad I don't have to play with that. Yep, and the lane going straight goes above it. So yes, let's pretend this thing works the way it should. Okay. I'm not entirely sure of it, but let's pretend. This game is about a lot about pretending, and once we get to the choice of buses, you will see that if I imagined the trams, I will also imagine the buses, because back in the 90s when I was a kid, all the buses looked the same. And, or well, let's say, most of the buses look the same, and that's exactly the type of bus I want to imagine running in here. Now, here's another bridge, and that's quite a long bridge. There will also be the issue of creating this part right, but let's not be too quick. Let's just first look at the name of this stop. Hopeasalmen ranta, Silversundstranden. Okay, and it's located in here. Oops, double here, but not double shortly after. There we go. And now the double track ends here. So let's first create the eastbound lane, which runs through here, and I think we can stop it right around here, because the westbound lane then embarks on a bridge. And it crosses... is there a tunnel? Oh, I have been wise. I have been really wise, but it doesn't really help me, because it's a bridge all the way above there. And then it goes on as ordinary road all the way through there. And now we will build the bridge, which still continues from here all the way through here. And this bridge is actually also, I have been complaining about renovations in all of my videos. This bridge is also going to be renovated, so there will be more traffic chaos ensuing pretty shortly, but I have now managed to create my roads, so I don't have to care about it anymore. And that is a really, how would you put it, nice situation. So much for that. Then the other side. As you can see, also this game is perhaps not designed for this mod, which is perfectly okay. The bridge isn't one way though, so I may be in trouble later on, but at the moment I couldn't care less. Then where do we go? Marsalkantie is the next stop. It's probably going to be... Luckily, they're not named the same. So Marsalkantie, because this line is making a loop around itself, the Marsalkantie stop will be in here. I remember this is a rather complex line, but I didn't remember it was this complex. There we go. As you can see, the island isn't very large, so this shouldn't be a difficult operation. But it is. Luckily, though, we are reaching the terminus pretty shortly. We only have 9 stops left, and frankly, I am fairly relieved to see that. This is an area of villas and embassies. And, well, the funny thing though is the buses are cheap. So creating a line like this costs only around perhaps 5 millions, while the tram lines cost 50 millions. Nevertheless, I have an Excel on the prices of what I've created and what I've bought, and I will not rest until every single line is profitable. And this stop is named after architect Lars Sonck. Yeah, now I know why I was surprised by the quickness with which I created the tram lines. I mean, this is the reason why I think a line will take an hour to create. It's because of these bus lines. Well, they also take an hour to drive, so... The next stop is named after former president Aristoriti. I just don't know where to place it because no, I actually know where to place it. It's behind this crossing. Here we go. It seems that the streets on this island are named after famous people. Imagine having a street named after you in here, then you would have really influenced the Finnish state and history and culture in some way. And in case you're interested what this mod is called, it's called City Road. Nothing more, nothing less. We will get to the other mods shortly. Oh yeah, so that's where the bus runs, because there are also other buses running through this street over here, but we are not interested in that right now. Not just right now. Then what do we have? Tupasaaren tie, Stugevegen over there. And then there is probably the metro station stop over there, right? And only 4 stops left after that, and I am extremely pleased by this. I've spent half an hour creating a bus line in here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now let me see. I'm not interested in the concrete. I'm interested in making this a platform of Kulosaari, which probably works this way. I think I did succeed. Yes, perfect. So the next stop will be after the crossing, and it will be Kulosaaren tie, Brändövägen. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like I said, the end is near. I somehow, well, I might be a bit strange, but I would like to see the lines up and running. I'm not necessarily into creating them, and that's why I always enjoy reaching the end. Now, only 3 stops left. Wow. There is a harbor in here, but there is also the zoo in here. So there are large parking lots in the area, which is fully understandable. You need parking lots for a zoo. You need parking lots for a harbor, and you need a bridge. So there we go. Let's move back to the ground level, and this line is nice because it has very little competition. I mean, no other bus runs in these locations. But still, paying millions to create the line is a bit. I don't think I like it. The funny thing is, I've taken this bus a couple of times because there are reasons why I have needed to be in this area. 2 stops left. Apparently there is also an adventure park in here. According to the stop name, but we will anyway change it. And then let's connect this stop to the previous one. There we go. And the final stop is at the end of the loop. Right. Right. And it's over here. And Korkeasaari, oh, stop it. Korkeasaari Högholmen is the largest and most famous zoo in Finland. And it's located over here after the bridge. There is no, or well, there was no traffic connection to Korkeasaari. But they are building a tram connection from here in Merihaka over to Nihti, over to Korkeasaari, and over here to Kruunuvuori. And it's going to be the longest bridge in Finland, but it will not be ready in time for me to create it. And I will not do it. Let's create a point of interest anyway. So far, and actually it's also served by a ferry, which means maybe I should create the ferry because that's very popular among people. it only runs during the summertime, so perhaps I should wait until then to create it. But nevertheless, the bus route to Korkeasaari is almost complete now. It just requires a couple of clicks, and it is there. The route is complete, and now let's go in for the buses. And the thing with the buses, like I said with the trams, I love the 80s, I love the 90s, I love the. Oh, let's build it first. 2.7 million, that's nothing. And then let's create the line, and then let's get onto the buses. I'm sorry, I was a bit hasty there. I went ahead of things. Tickets will cost absolutely the same as in all collective traffic in Helsinki and the surrounding area. Now we go there. And this was actually a very, very short line. It seems I created it right. And if I remember correctly, Kaisaniemen Puisto was not a stop on any buses. No, wait a second. Kaisaniemen, oh yeah. Kaisaniemen Puisto is where the buses stop. Kaisaniemen Katu is where they don't stop. So there. And there. Even this strange crossing seems to work. I mean, everything seems to work at the moment. And then we'll have to check how often the buses run. There are differences. No, wait. No, I did something wrong because I shouldn't click on that twice. So now I think it works in a proper way. Yes. Yes. So it's 70 kilometers, and now let's get to the trains. Because the trains, I have a mod with Man Lion City. There is the standard sized bus, there is the larger bus, which probably has, you know, double wheels in the rear, and then there's the I don't know what this is called in English, but in Finnish it translates directly into accordion bus because it has the accordion in the middle. But the funny thing is, the accordion bus should be the biggest, 80 passengers. The double back wheel bus, 115 passengers, and the standard bus, 95 passengers. Nevertheless, this line is run by standard buses. I know it. And okay, well, they're blue and white. They have always been blue and white. But this is not a Man Lion City. Not in the world I am living in, because back in the 80s and 90s, most of the Helsinki city buses were Volvos with a B10M engine and with a Vima K202 chassis. So it will be numbered this way, and these buses were in use everywhere in Finland. I will need thousands of these. So That's it. The first bus is on its way, and it will take 52 minutes to run. And now I will check the timetable of the bus. During weekdays, it is at most 10. No. Wait. It is 20 minutes. It is 20 minutes, the interval. So we'll just have to buy a couple of more of them. And I think I will survive this line with 3 buses. That's absolutely correct. So there. We have 3 buses running the first bus line in Helsinki, which has been created. And now that the first video with the buses is coming to an end, I can promise you, I can absolutely promise you, we will go on with the buses. There will be so many bus videos, you will get tired of these. But the first one is up and running, and there's only one thing left to say, and that is bye.